What's up, everybody? My name's Jacob Vittori. Um, I'm going to be showing everyone here how to do a string change um, on a Martin D18 acoustic guitar. Now, I've never done a tutorial video before, but I figured I'd mix things up a little bit from my music content and show everybody how to change strings on an acoustic guitar. Yeah, it's getting into winter season now. It's been a couple months since I changed it, so I figured this is a good opportunity to show everybody how to change strings on a guitar. All right, I'm gonna take the strings off that I have on currently. I have EQ, the EQ clear tones strings on at the moment, but I'm gonna remove the strings first with my handy dandy peg winder. Take the tension off the strings. Like I said, if you want to be cool, you can use this lefty, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Normal mechanic theory. Yeah, the idea is just to loosen the tension off the strings. I mean, you can loosen it the whole way where it comes off. It doesn't really matter. Got the E string. Let's move to the next one. I mean, you can do it by hand if you want, but I figure to save time, I use the peg winder. You can get one of these things for like 15-20 bucks at Guitar Center. Alright, got the A string done. This. I got the treble strings we gotta do yet. Always be careful when reaching over to take the treble strings off. I like to do these ones by hand just to, because I'm not really good with reaching over for distances with the peg winder. There we go. And always make sure you're loosening the tension of the strings and not tightening it. Because I've made mistakes before where I tightened the string and it just popped. Not sure if that's really good for the string, for the peg winders, but we all make mistakes. I like to tap the string because it helps me tell if I'm loosening it or tightening it. Okay. Got the strings removed, but now we have to go down here and take the bridge pins out so we can get the rest of the string out. this part can be a pain in the butt because some of them like to stay stuck in there. Sometimes I got to come from the bottom and reach up through just so I can. That one just popped out like a rocket. So I can like pop the bridge pins out. That one fell in the guitar, but it's okay. We got the strings off so we can just reach in there. Here we go. Now, these can be a real pain in the butt to get out. Helps to have fingernails. So we got one more we got to get out, but seems to be in there pretty good. There we go. All right, we got our bridge pins out. So now we can pull our strings off. Alright, got the strings removed. Now we can just coil them up so we don't lose them. And they don't poke us in the eye. I like to throw them in the garbage once I'm done with this whole string change. Well, that's good enough for now. I'll just keep them off to the side. 3, 4, 5. I gotta find that last bridge. Okay. Okay. Now that I removed the old strings and took out the bridge pins, now we can install these new strings. I'm going to throw a pack of Martin Retros on, so we'll change things up, get a new sound, new tone. I'm all about changing brands of strings, try different things out. And these strings come, looks like they come one by one. You open up the pack and get 6 individual strings. It'll say like 6th string, E string. So you can't mess it up, like where you put the wrong string on the wrong tuner. 5th string. So anyway, I like to start with the low E string and work from there. I'll see if I can get a better angle on this camera. Point here. Okay, well, okay, that should be sufficient. Okay. Oh, and one more thing I like to do is I like to take some of this lubricant here. It's called Tune It. Every string change. It's to help keep your strings in tune a little better. I like to put one on each individual nut slot here. Just a little dab on each groove. Just so it's enough to lubricate the strings. Okay. It comes with this handy dandy little like toothpick. You can just kind of rub it in a little bit. rub a little off with your finger if you have to. Okay, that's that. I like to do the same thing down here, where we took the bridge pins out. I mean, it's not necessary to always use the string lube. Um, but if you have a couple extra minutes and you have the strings off of your guitar, you might as well do what you can to help it play, help it stay in tune better. But you're always going to suffer tuning issues during the changing seasons. Okay. Okay, now that that's that, we'll get started with changing the strings. And I'm not going to get into cleaning too much the guitar, because I just want to get down to the point and show everyone how to change strings. However, it wouldn't be a bad idea to clean the guitar now that you have all the strings off. Okay. We'll get started with the low E string. What I like to do is take the ball end of the string, put it like against the groove of the bridge pin here. You have a little groove in here. Take it in there like so. Put a little kink in it. Just like a little L, so it should form like an L, like this. Okay? Now, down here, I like to gotta put the ball end of the string down in while you put the groove of the bridge pin in line with the string. Sometimes you gotta press down a little bit, help it seat properly. Okay. And sometimes, sometimes after you feed the string through the tuning peg, the bridge pin has a tendency to pop out, so you may have to make adjustments, reach down and press the bridge pin back in place. It's just how it is. It's frustrating, but that's just one of the things of string changing that you always deal with. But anyway, we're going to put this end of the string through the tuning peg. I like to ensure that the hole on the tuning peg that you feed the string through is facing towards me, so I keep a forward path while I'm feeding it through. Now that I have the string threaded through, I like to grab the string about, like, say if you're stringing up the low E string, I like to grab the string where the A string tuning post is, like the next string up, feed it backwards towards the low E string, put an upward kink in the string. Okay, now that's that. I like to hold the string down, and then I begin tightening. And you always want the tuning post turning to the inside of the guitar. Inside and then out around. Inside and then out around. And I apologize if I'm not explaining this too clearly. I never did a tutorial video before, so this is my first time. But I hope to do a lot more in the future, so bear with me. Okay. Oh, we made one lap around the tuning post so far. Usually you end up making like 2.5, 3 laps around the tuning post. And if you want to speed things up, you can use this to tighten it as well as loosen it. So I don't always use this if I'm extra nervous. If I'm nervous I'm going to break a string. But if you go in small increments, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. Alright. Let's go a little farther. Okay, so we got the first string on. And as we're putting strings on, I like to stretch them a little bit just so they're help them seat a little better. Just yank up on the string a little bit. Don't yank too hard because you might break it. Okay. In the meantime, we'll move on to our next string, the A string. Just got to repeat the process above. Grab a bridge pin. Make sure you keep them in a spot where you know you're not going to lose them. Put it in. Put a little kink in the string, like so. Repeat the same process down here. And if anyone has a different way of changing strings, please let me know in the comments section. I'm always open to hear about different techniques of changing strings. This is the way I've been doing it for a while, and it seemed to be working okay for me. However, I'm always open to more ideas. Alright, we made one lap around so far. Use the handy dandy. Alright, we got tension. That's good. And I like to wait to the end before I cut my strings. Although it is always good to cut your strings when you're done to eliminate the fact of poking an eye out with the end of one of these strings. Anyway, we'll move on to the next one. I will get the D string next. Yep. Yeah, and the key to changing strings on the guitar is just taking your time, do things in small increments. That way you don't snap a string. Okay, so now we're at the D string here. So you got to just pretend like there's a tuning post on the outside of the guitar. So just think of an imaginary tuning post, grab it, feed it backwards, put a kink in it, just an upward kink. I like to keep the excess string of the other strings like over top of the string I'm working on. And I don't really use the peg winder until I make a full lap around the tuning post. Okay. Now I'll use this. And like I said, two things. Make sure it's spinning the right way and do things in small increments. Once I get tension on the string, then I can move a little slower and slower. Alright, that should be good for now. And they don't have to be perfectly in tune, like when you're in the middle of the string changing process, because the string's got to settle in before you can really worry about getting them to stay in tune. Okay, cool. We got the bass side of we got the bass strings complete. Now we're going to move on to the top three treble strings. This part can get a little tricky when you're threading through the treble strings, because of how you have to reach over the neck and everything's opposite. Like when you tighten it from this side, righty-tighty. But you have to like kind of use that mechanical theory when you reach over and think righty-tighty, even though I'm reaching over the guitar. Screwed up a little bit. Center it well enough. I like to make sure that groove is facing center exactly toward the tuning pegs. If it looks crooked, I try to pull it out to adjust. Okay, that looks a little better. Like I said, make sure it's facing straight toward where you're going with the string. Because every single bind you get in the string will cause more tuning issues. Okay. And like I said, this is an outside string here, so grab the string about an inch away from the tuning peg, feed it backwards, put a kink in the string, then you can start tightening. And like I said, you want the string turning toward the inside, or you want the tuning peg turning toward the inside of the guitar. That's one reason, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the electric peg winder for all circumstances, because if you're not sure which way to go and you press the trigger and it goes the wrong way, then it can bust strings. I always have to keep things moving consistently, because if I'm turning it and I stop for a minute to do something and I start turning it again, I have to think which way I'm going. I think I'm going the right way. Let's see. Yeah, I should be going the right way. Like I said, I always have to think a second, because maybe I'm not going the right way. Hey. Yeah, I don't think I'm going the right way. Yeah, I think I messed this up, because the string should not look like that. Yeah, it's not supposed to be out that far from where it's going. So I gotta make an adjustment here. The joy of guitar maintenance. And that's why I don't cut my strings until I know for certain that I have them where I want them, and making sure I did everything right. Okay, got the G string installed. Now I move on to the B string. Yeah, I'm sorry, that string took a little too long because of that mistake I made with turning the tuning peg the wrong way. Remember, string always goes, always have it turning toward the inside of the neck, not to the outside, because if it's going to the outside, um, it won't be threaded right. Okay, we'll get the B string next. Okay. Same deal as before. Hopefully this one will turn out a little smoother than the string I did before. Okay. Okay, that string should be good. Like I said, I like to seat them a little bit as I'm putting the strings on. Just pull them up and down a little bit. Not worried about tuning right now because it's going to take a little bit to get them to stay in tune since we just changed them. Okay, we're down to our last string, the high E string. grand finale. Alright, well, we got our strings installed, so now, after I stretch this high E string here, we'll put the tuner on and we'll get it tuned up. Okay. Alright, well, get in the playing position here. Put the tuner on. Where I put my tuner? There's my tuner. And sometimes you gotta continue to stretch them even after you change the strings, because they have to get settled in. Got that E string. to tune it slow too, because if I move too fast, I might break a string because of how the strings have to settle in. Okay, there's our G string. New strings always have a little rattle to them because they're new. Almost got that high E in tune. Well, got all my strings on. It's still going to take a little for them to stay in tune. But that's just how it is after you change strings. Sometimes you got to go through them again. But as you keep going through the strings and tuning them, they'll get stretched in. Alright, there you have it. Once again, my name's Jacob. If anyone, like I said, if anyone has any suggestions on better ways of changing strings, please let me know in the comments section. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. I'll see everybody next time. Peace out.